hey, I didn't see you there. Sorry, I was blinded by perfection. Hypersonic is my hero. He got me through some really hard times, namely Ice Cap Zone, and he's overall cooler than Supersonic because he's not just piss yellow, he's also piss gold. It's true, he's got both of those and plenty more colors that I can't name off the top of my head right now. He also does the double jump, and he can kill every enemy on screen with just the snap of his finger. Maybe they got rid of Hypersonic because there was nothing that could stand up to the guy. Maybe it was the Dragon Ball parallels catching up to them, maybe they wanted to be careful about that. But I feel like if they really wanted to, they probably could bring this guy back. And I've been thinking about it lately, and I have an idea that I would like you to listen to and possibly comment on. Now that we live in a current Sonic Frontiers world, like I was gonna say post-Sonic Frontiers, but the DLC is still coming out, we know that Supersonic can be present in gameplay before the final battle, which means the final encounter is gonna be like all of the other boss fights, which, on one hand, that's completely fine by me because the boss fights in Sonic Frontiers all slap, but on the other hand, look at him, he could be so much more. So I'm not sure how long ago this was because time is an illusion these days, but a while back I made a video with my friend Janjo on his channel about Hypersonic and how we would bring him back into the modern day. And something I said in that video that is kind of funny to think back on was, if Hypersonic was to come back, I think Supersonic would need to be more a part of average gameplay. Because like I said, if you use something for the entire game, when you get to the conclusion, it might not be the most special thing in the world, but, you know, it's still fun, it's still fine. What, did you have something to say? I wonder if that came up on the microphone. And now that we have a frame of reference for Supersonic being playable before the end of a game, we can start to look at how we could take that and make it even bigger and better. And if you've been following me so far, I think the best way to do that is Hypersonic. Now this is going to be the fun part because I'm going to try to illustrate how I would do this using Frontiers mods and video editing. So here we go, let's see if this is coherent at all. Now that we've had Supersonic in boss fights, I think the obvious next step is having Supersonic whenever we want, but in a new way. It's easy to see with Frontiers that the boost gameplay has been reduced in importance by a lot at this point. It is definitely no longer the focus. So how about, since we're delving more into the backstory of things and maybe characters' connections to the Chaos Emeralds, we have an adventure where Sonic has the emeralds the entire time, and he's able to go in and out of the supersonic state at will. So let's say you're running around the open zone and there's a big ravine you're not sure you can cross, there's no rails in the air because it looks kinda tacky. So the question becomes, hey, we have 150 rings right now, do we turn into Supersonic for a second and get an air boost to cross this chasm, maybe you still fall down and die, I don't know, maybe you're a shit player, or do you save your rings and find another way to go over there because you might run into some really strong enemies that Supersonic could deal with easier? How are common enemies strong enough for Supersonic? Let's say after Sonic Frontiers, Sage has collected so much data about Sonic and Supersonic from those times on the Kronos Islands that now Eggman's robots are a lot stronger to compensate. We'll just go with that, because this isn't real. I'm thinking if we don't want to make this, like, stupid overpowered, even though that might be fun for, like, a New Game Plus or something, maybe we don't give him infinite flight, and we can say it's because he's transforming back and forth so much, he's not used to the strain, so his power is a little bit limited. But it's all about training with the form, and this is Dragon Ball Z now. But, you know, Dragon Ball Z's really cool and good, so I think that's okay. I think it'd also be really fun to continue to focus on Supersonic throughout this adventure and maybe try and power up the Chaos Emeralds in some way. Maybe there's another big world-ending threat on the horizon and we only have a little bit of time before total calamity yet again. So Sonic and friends have to go power up the Chaos Emeralds and they turn, like, bigger, and they turn into the Super Emeralds. And that's how we get those back. That's easy. We could make it so every time you get a Super Emerald, maybe Supersonic's powers increase even more, or just Sonic as a whole, because I'm sure he's probably benefiting from all of the extra energy. Okay, so now this hypothetical game is an open world game, not open zone, and we're just gonna have, like, a whole bunch of places that you can't access all throughout the map until you get these new abilities, so we just turn it into a really big mission around the world, like a really real Sonic World adventure. Give us the entire world as an open world. Couldn't be that hard, come on. I also wouldn't mind if cyberspace levels came back in some way. Not like literal cyberspace, but like just some more straightforward levels, because I think going back and forth between the Sonic and Supersonic form at certain moments in a level could make for some very interesting level design. Maybe you got like a giant rock wall in the way of another passage, and if you turn into Supersonic, you can blast right through it, but if you hit it with regular Sonic, you do the pancake thing against the wall like you did in, what game was that? The Sega Sonic Pancake Shop, thank you. I kind of imagine the smashing through walls power thing I was just talking about almost like it was in Sonic Riders if you were a power character, how if you were going the power character shortcut, you just kind of went bam, bam, turkey hand. I don't use those shortcuts much, I like flying characters. But you could kind of steal the flying characters gimmick from Sonic Riders as well. Maybe you could have Sonic boost off certain ramps as Supersonic and enter little mini flying challenges that might get you through the level faster, or maybe get you red rings or other collectibles. I don't need the combat to be like completely redesigned or anything. I think it's pretty fun with like the moves you can do and all that stuff. I think having access to Supersonic and being able to do variations or new moves for like a lot more ring cost might be really cool. It'll make it so you need to conserve those rings, because remember, if you run out of all your rings, you might still be alive, but you're caught in combat now with no rings left. So Supersonic sounds really fun in my brain. I don't know if I was able to get that all out and express it in a good way, but you're wondering where's Hypersonic now, because that's what the video's about. Well, after you get all of the Super Emeralds, you have them in your grasp, I'd say you should get to explore the entire game again, except with the added benefit of Hypersonic. That could include infinite flight as a replace for just having like the double jump from before. You could make combat extremely trivial. This is something that's like very endgame. You've been working your way up to this. And having a final boss where you can finally fly through the air without any restrictions and beat the hell out of whatever crazy monsters waiting in the egg in outer space. I think it would be an interesting level of catharsis after going the entire game without it. But I mean, I guess I would miss it in every boss fight, right? Because the Titans were so cool. I don't know, maybe you could have some Supersonic flying in boss fights here and there if you're good. This is just a weird hypothetical anyway. I feel like they could do a lot with this. Like, I bet it would be a spectacle. Maybe they would have to change how he looks a little bit, but being able to change back and forth between base form and something overpowered like that could be really cool if enough work is involved in like obtaining it. Don't just hand it to me. It's gotta be fun to get to. And that's where I think Supersonic could come in. He could be a vital asset to regular gameplay. That is all. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more Sonic and other things that aren't Sonic, because I do a lot of things. Please also leave a comment if you made it this far, because not a lot of people do, and now you're in the secret club. Nice work. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my current supporters, who are Marowaki, Brady Hilkemeyer, Mimic, Noah Wizbios, Danny Lee Dauber, Faye, Minty, Mega Traffic Cone, Dax, ScratchTech64, Ty Little Tech Guy, Jeremy, Crystal, Chaos, Dork in a Hat, and on Patreon we have Noah Wizbios again, and Gino the Puppet. Thank you also to everyone who's supporting in the $1 tier, and if you would like to become a channel member yourself and support me making videos like this, please go and check out the join button below the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.